Hamilton F-26, new upgrade. I'm Ross. Message to Ferrari. Today I'm red, so that means Ferrari. Hello. If you think Lewis Hamilton topping the timesheets in Barcelona with a 1:16.348 is a sign that Ferrari have finally cracked the code for the 2026 regulations, I've got a bridge in Maranello to sell you. While that glory run on the soft Pirellis looks spectacular for the cameras and the tifosi, the technical reality simmering beneath the carbon fiber of the SF-26 is far more volatile, involving a massive mechanical gamble and a legitimate state of controlled panic regarding energy management. We are witnessing Ferrari pivot away from safe engineering toward a wildcard concept that could either make Hamilton an 8-time world champion or leave him as a very high-profile passenger in a car that runs out of electricity halfway down the straight. But here's the real question. Is it actually fast or just for show? The core of this technical intrigue lies in Ferrari's decision to move away from traditional aluminium alloys for their internal combustion engine, opting instead for steel cylinder heads. In a sport where engineers would usually sell their own grandmothers to save 5 grams of weight, introducing a denser material like steel seems counterintuitive, but it is a masterstroke of thermodynamic packaging. Steel allows the power unit to operate at significantly higher internal pressures and temperatures than aluminium could ever dream of sustaining without melting into a puddle. By running harder, Ferrari can actually dissipate heat more efficiently across a smaller surface area, which is the secret source behind their plan to bring an ultra-tapered, streamlined side pod upgrade to the first race in Australia. Steel in an F1 engine is kind of crazy, right? This wildcard engine architecture is a direct response to the 2026 regulations, which demand a near 50-50th power split between the ICE and the electrical systems. By shrinking the cooling requirements through the use of steel components, the aerodynamicists in Maranello have been able to shrink-wrap the rear end of the SF-26 to a degree we haven't seen since the early Mercedes dominance. However, the trade-off is a massive shift in the car's center of gravity, and a cooling profile that is so aggressive it has reportedly triggered a red alert from the FIA's technical delegates. The governing body is looking closely at whether Ferrari's aero concept pushes the boundaries of active aero too far, particularly in how the car manages drag reduction when the MGUK is in full deployment mode. But here's where the story takes a darker turn for Ferrari. The Barcelona data has revealed a significant deficit in energy management. According to sources close to the team, the SF-26 is clipping prematurely, meaning the battery is depleting its 350 kilowatts allowance before the end of the long straights. Without the MGUH to harvest energy from the exhaust gases, a component that was ditched for 22.6, the burden on the MGUK to recover energy under braking is absolute. Ferrari's data suggests that while their ICE is a powerhouse, their recovery efficiency is currently lagging behind the benchmark set by Mercedes, who managed a staggering 52 laps in the shakedown without breaking a sweat. But wait, there's a massive catch. Hamilton and Charles Leclerc have been virtually living in the simulator since the Barcelona test, trying to understand why the real-world energy recovery doesn't match the optimistic projections from the wind tunnel. The 2026 engines are supposed to be the Achilles heel of the new era. But for Ferrari, the issue isn't raw horsepower. It's the sophisticated handshake between mechanical braking and electrical regeneration. If that transition isn't seamless, the car becomes a nightmare to drive on the limit, which explains why observers at turn 10 in Montmello noticed the SF-26 looking particularly nervous and pointy during the entry phase, where harvesting is most aggressive. Ross Brawn's recent message to the Scuderia adds a layer of human urgency to these technical struggles. Brawn, the architect of the Schumacher era, knows that a driver of Hamilton's vintage doesn't just need a fast car. He needs a car that provides a specific type of feedback through the steering rack. Brawn's warning is clear. Ferrari must gel as a unit to provide Lewis with the technical stability he craves. If the car is constantly hunting for energy or shifting its brake bias mid-corner to compensate for a flat battery, Hamilton won't be able to find that vintage rhythm. We saw what happened in 2025. A Lewis Hamilton without total confidence in his machinery is a driver who struggles to make the podium, let alone win a title. The technical surprise Ferrari is planning for Melbourne is essentially a third iteration of their side pod concept. They started with a launch spec in Barcelona. They'll bring a cooling spec to Bahrain, and the race spec in Australia will feature those bold, tapering designs meant to maximize airflow to the beam wing. It's a high-stakes development curve that assumes they can fix the engine's energy management issues via software updates while simultaneously radically changing the car's outer skin. It's the kind of all-in move that suggests Ferrari know they have a diamond in the rough, but they are terrified that the rough might be too abrasive to polish before the lights go out in Sakir. Can Ferrari really handle a car this tricky? We also have to consider the impact of sustainable fuels on this new combustion philosophy. Ferrari's steel cylinder heads are designed to handle the different burn rate of 100% renewable fuels, which can be more volatile and produce higher peak temperatures than traditional fossil fuels. By opting for steel, Ferrari are betting that they can run leaner and hotter than Mercedes or Red Bull Ford, effectively using the material's thermal resilience as a performance differentiator. If they can get the energy management under control, that will be a monster, potentially giving Hamilton the straight-line advantage he's missed for the last few years. However, the 52 laps completed by Mercedes in Barcelona cannot be ignored. Reliability is the most boring performance metric until your car stops on lap 12. Mercedes' decision to stick with a more conventional material approach has given them a platform that is already bulletproof, allowing George Russell and Kimi Antonelli to focus on aero mapping. While Hamilton is still stuck in the Maranello simulator,